You know? Okay. So let's answer this. Oops. Let's answer this problem. Okay. So okay, this one. Um. There are how many number of degrees of freedom here? There are I think two lang, no? Or two ba ni? X cosine. Yeah, I think we have two. We only have 2 degrees of freedom. So sakto naman na yata, no? 2 degrees of freedom. Okay. 2 degrees of freedom. We have this and then ako'y theta. No? In terms of theta and in terms of if I call this one as x, then it's just in terms of x and in terms of theta. L is fixed and ang inclined plane is one of the equation of constraint. Okay. So I have six ang original but nako'y upat ka equation of constraints nako'y z is equal to duha ka z equal to 0 no duha ka z equal to 0 duha ka z equal to 0 and then the L kani isa sa L o isa sa inclined plane. Okay, isa sa inclined plane. Okay. So yeah, what is now the Lagrangian of the system? Again, butahan ako letter D diri, find the equation of motion. Okay, equation of motion. Okay. So for equation of constraints, I have four, no? Na ako'y duha ka z equals 0, z equals 0 sa small mass m, z equals 0 sa big letter M, and then kaning L, okay? This L here, say x squared plus y squared nga gagmay equal to L squared. And then an equation of a line, okay? Line nga decreasing. That's your um, isa sa equation of constraints. Upat, no? Upat ka equation of constraints ang makuha. Okay. So let's now get the Lagrangian. Okay, Lagrangian is just equal to um, kinetic minus potential. So once makuha na to ang position sa tag sa kamas, makuha na ko ang velocity. Mas makuha na akong velocity, makuha na akong kinetic energy, and at the same time makuha po na ako ang gravitational potential energy because I have the position. So ang pinaka-importante, ang pinaka-crucial na part is how are we going to express the position of big mass M and small mass M. Okay? So unsaan ako pagkuha ang position ni dako nga M o ang position ni mass nga kaning gamay nga M. Okay, so let's do this. Ang una kong buhaton to solve the Lagrangian, kuhaan ako ang position sa tag sa kamas. Okay? Because once makuha na akong position niya, makuha na ko ang velocity, makuha po na ko ang kinetic energy. From that velocity, makuha ng kinetic energy. And from that position, makuha na ko ang potential energy. So, ang importante is ang position. Okay? So, in order to solve for the Lagrangian, I will now get or determine the position of M and gamay nga M. Okay? So, i-draw na ko outro, no? I have this. Okay? So, I have this one. Then, this is beta. Beta is fixed, okay? Ang angle of inclination is constant, which is beta. So, if I draw my big mass M, okay, i-draw sana ko ang big mass M, okay? This is my big mass M. Big mass M. So, this is my big mass M. And if I let my origin as this one, another akong origin, okay? So, the position of mass M is if my Cartesian plane is this one, this is X and this is Y, okay? This is X and this is Y. As you can see, not X but not X and not Y, but I will rotate my Cartesian plane such that this one will be my X. Okay, this one will be my X. Okay, this one will be my X. Okay, take note that kaning naka-incline sa ako ang inclined plane is that is my X. So if I draw the Cartesian plane, ako yung ano. Okay, this is X. Okay. So if this is position x, okay, this is my vector x, for example. Okay, see x, big letter x. Okay, si big letter x is actually it has two coordinates, no? Na ko duha coordinates. The coordinate or the position of this m is I have the position of this M is I have x cosine of beta and then minus x sine of beta. Diba? If uh, I solve for the position x, doon ako duha ka ko ano, duha ka coordinates na ako'y horizontal and then na ako'y vertical na position. Okay? This is using cosine. So katuwa, this is x cosine of beta, sorry. And then this is x sine of beta. Such that the position of M, if I write this one in vector, yeah, if I write this one in vectors, I have x cosine of beta I hat minus x sine of beta j hat. Okay, so muna ang position sa akong M. So, if I have the position of my M, okay, makuha na ko ang velocity. Sakto ba? My velocity of M is i-derive lang nako ni no, nako take note beta is constant. So ang imo lang derive is only this. Nako x dot cosine of beta I hat minus x dot sine of beta j hat. Okay? Sakto ba? Uh, sakto ra no? Nako x dot. Okay. So I have that. Aha. So may kulang na, kung may kulang ani, nako x cosine. Sakto ra siguro no? Ang m. Why problema sa m no? Because a negative siya because your origin is at the top, okay? So negative yang y. Okay, negative yang y, then positive yang x. Okay. Then ako x cosine, sakto ra niyo, x cosine beta, and then ako x sine of beta. Yeah, so this will be my position, and this will be my velocity of our mass m nga dako. Okay. Now, next is your M nga gamay. So what will be the position of your M nga gamay? As you can see, I draw the M nga gamay here. Okay? Doon akong gamay nga M dire, no? Okay, M nga gamay dira. Take note, the length of this one is, the length of the string is L, no? Yeah, it's L nga dako. Okay, L nga dako. Okay, so and then the angle is theta. So we have, as you can see, this is theta and then this is L. What will now be the position of your mass M? First is nakoy x daan, nakoy x cosine beta, sakto ba? Nakoy x cosine beta, tapos napakoy isa ka position dire, no? This is L cosine of theta, and then this one is L sine of minus minus L sine of theta. Sakto? So therefore, ang position ni mass M nga gamay is na ako'y i-add ni mong duha, no? Na ako'y x for the position, horizontal position, I have x cosine beta plus L cosine theta. While the vertical position is I have minus x sine beta and minus L sine of theta. Okay? Nakuha. So nako'y position of M from that of mass M is I have uh, uh, along x. Yes.
Sir, nganong ano to siya? Kanang
Uh,
cosine ang sa y.
cosine ang sa
Ano?
akin ito.
Ang sa ano sir? Ang sa gamay nga m.
Gamay nga. Ay,
Nganong
sorry.
negative
Sorry.
cosine theta.
Tama, no? This is, masabi ko, no? This is sine theta. Sorry. So, thank you, Julius, no? Thank you, Julius. This is cosine. This is sine. So, nabalik siya, no? Because your theta is kaning vertical, nasa vertical na position. So, this is L cosine of theta, sakto? And then L sine of theta. Yeah. Thank you, Julius. Okay. Yeah. So, that will be the position of M. Position of M will be nakoy equal to i-add na ko doon, no? Nakoy x cosine of beta plus uh, L sine, no? L sine of theta. L sine of theta. Take note, beta is constant. Beta is constant, but theta is not constant. Sakto? Because theta is one of our generalized coordinate. Okay? It's not constant. Kaya yung sa ito, duha man ka degrees of freedom, no? In terms of x and in terms of theta. Okay? So I have two degrees of freedom na ako'y coordinate niya x because x is changing. But cosine beta, beta is not changing. Beta is constant. So this beta is constant. But your theta, since ang imong gamay nga m kay swing naman na, your theta is not constant. So mag-vary imong theta. Okay? Take note, duha lang ka coordinates na ako'y x and theta. So only these two. So I have two Lagrange equation of motion there. So sa ito, na ako'y x cosine beta plus L sine of theta I hat. Okay? Plus uh, x sine of beta, minus, no? I think this is minus. Yeah, minus x sine of beta minus L cosine of beta. Cosine of beta. Okay? So na ako'y L cosine of beta. Not beta but theta. So it's theta. Oops. This is L cosine of theta j hat. B is constant, L is also constant, no? L is also constant. Okay, so I have the position. I have the position. You can solve for the velocity, right? Velocity of M, which is a complicated one because this is a function. Your variable here is nakoy duha, the x and the theta. Okay, the x and the theta. So we have um velocity. Okay, so I have derive na ko ni no nakoy x dot sa I hat ni siya no sa I hat x dot cosine of beta plus L cosine of theta theta dot. Tama ba? Sa so, nakabot ang theta. Theta dot cosine of theta I hat plus this one minus x dot sine of beta minus plus na rin, no? Plus because derivative of cosine is minus sine. Sine L dot theta dot sine of theta j hat. Okay, so that's my velocity, the velocity of my m, and the take note this is the velocity of my big M, okay, and my velocity of gamay nga m is this one. Okay, so I now have the position. I also now have the velocity of these two masses, big M and mass M. Okay, therefore velocity mo na siya, no? Ang akong kuhaan is ang magnitude, sakto? Magnitude of the velocities. Magnitude of the velocities. Okay? Saan yung pagkuha sa magnitude of velocities gani? For mass M nga dako, dali lang, no? The V is just, this is square root of, sakto ba? V square akong kuhaan. Because ang kinetic energy is in terms of 1 half mv square, not v, no? So nakoy v square. For mass m nga dako, ang v square nako is equal to square lang nako ni, no? Tama ba? Oops. Square nako ni. Tapos square po nako ni. Sakto? So I have x dot square cosine beta square plus x dot square sine beta square. And this is just equal to x dot square. Sakto? Okay. I have cosine square beta plus sine square beta, which is just equal to 1. Okay, so therefore, I will call this one as Vm. Nadako. Okay? Vm square is equal to only x dot square. Okay? So, na ako yung velocity. So, makuha na ko ang kinetic energy ng mass big M. Okay? So, for small m, kanin mo yung taas-taas. For small m, V square is equal to, take note, I have binomial expression of my horizontal component, and I also have binomial expression of my vertical component. So, square lang nimo, no? Nakoy x dot cosine beta plus L theta dot cosine theta, L theta dot cosine of theta quantity square plus, sakto ba? X cosine L theta dot cosine square, okay? Plus, isa, na ko minus x dot sine of beta plus L theta dot sine of theta quantity square. Okay? Check sa nakuha kung sakto ba ni. Minus minus, derivative sa cosine is plus, muna na kay plus dira. So minus x sine beta L theta sine of theta. Quantity square. Okay. Simplify. Simplify na to ni. Na ko x dot square cosine square beta plus L square theta dot square cosine square of theta plus 2 x dot cosine beta L theta dot x 2x L theta dot cosine square of theta. Sakto ba ni? O, ano? If I use FOIL method to expand this one, so I have first term square po nimo second term, then i-add nimo ang duha times 2. So, nakoy 2x dot L theta dot cosine square. Okay, so nakoy nga na, no? Plus the other one is I have minus x dot square, that is just equal to x dot square sine of beta square plus L square theta dot square sine of theta square minus 2x dot L theta dot uh, sine square of theta. Okay, so
Sin theta,
sa,
sir.
sa to?
Sin theta, sin beta.
Okay,
Sin
okay.
first
Sorry,
beta.
it's sine theta, sine beta. Sorry. Yeah, that's correct. So, salamat kay Julius. Nagali kay makita ni mo Julius, no? So, kani, sayop ni siya, no? This is cosine theta, cosine beta. Okay? Cosine theta, okay? Cosine beta. So, okay. Kani po is na ko sine theta, sine beta. Sine theta, sine beta. Okay, thank you, Julius. Tuloy pa na ako ninasolve. Actually, no? Karoon pa na ako nag-solve. So, paki-check lang na ano, kasi nakoy masayop o nakoy masayop o pa sa mga angle or what. Okay? And then, makombine ako ni, I have kaning x dot, makombine ako ni siya, no? Cosine beta plus sine beta, which is just equal to 1. Okay? Plus L square theta dot square cosine square theta plus sine square theta, okay, which is just equal to 1 again, plus 2x dot L theta dot cosine beta minus sine theta sine beta, which is kung murag familiar ni siya, no? Kining cosine beta plus cosine cos minus sine, that's actually a cosine theta plus beta, sakto? So this one is 1, this one is 1, this one is also 1, and then this pwede na ko na siya sige, ako na lang this one is actually cosine theta plus beta, okay? Cosine theta plus beta. So we have cos, sakto ra ni, x, sakto ra, Julius, na, wala ko na limtan. Sakto ra siguro, no? Plus,
Sakto ra, sir.
minus, 2xl. Okay, so sakto ra, no? So I have Vm square, ang velocity ni gamay nga m, which is complicated kayo. Of course, kay, ang mahitabo sa gamay nga m, ang good kay, duha yung motion, no? Ga-swing pa siya, ga-swing pa yung mass m, at the same time, ga-translate isa pa ubos. So, nag-swing-swing sa padulong sa ubos. So, medyo lisod or medyo complicated ang iyang velocity. walay problema sa big mass M because ang big mass M isa raman iyang motion going downward raman. But for mass M nga gamay, ga down siya ang iyang motion, ga down iyang motion at the same time ga swing pa gid siya because of this pendulum. Okay? So that's why complicated gamay ang iyang velocity. So therefore, Vm square is I have na siya translational motion x dot square. Sakto? Na siya translational motion x dot square, na siya rotational motion L theta dot quantity square. Sakto? Ako na lang i-L square theta dot square, no? So na ako kani L square theta dot square which is kung kabantay mo gihapon permitted na siya, no? Always nato ni makita ning L theta dot. Take note, L theta dot is actually the angular velocity, no? Angular velocity. Of course, if your object is rotating, if rotates siya, no? If nasa motion nga rotational, then there will be a term for the angular velocity. So, first term is for the linear, the move siya downward, and the second term is the velocity for the um katong pendulum nimo. And the last term this is actually the coupling. Of course, nasa coupled velocity kay gisumpay man nimo si M nga gamay sa kang M nga dako. So nasa coupled nga velocity which is this one 2x plus this, sorry, plus 2x dot L theta dot cosine theta plus beta. Okay? So so the third term, that's the coupling between the x and the theta dot. Okay? So that's a coupling nga na. Okay. So we are done with the velocities. So we can solve for the kinetic energy. Then the kinetic energy, sorry, kinetic energy is just nakoy 1/2 m nga dako Vm square plus 1/2 m nga gamay Vm square. So if you uh, solve na ko'y m, Vm na ko nga dako is na ko'y x dot square lang. Okay? So na ko'y x dot square. X dot square while may gamay nga m is na ko'y tulo ka terms. Linear velocity, uh, rotational, angular velocity plus the coupling 2x dot L dot theta dot cosine of theta plus beta. Okay, so this is my kinetic energy. Okay, nakuha ninyo ni? Gusto ba?
Wala, sir.
Wala ninyo nakuha. So if I rearrange this, nakoy 1/2 m plus m x dot square plus 1/2 m theta dot square plus 2x dot L theta dot cosine of theta plus theta. Okay. Nadamog ba ko? Or naghinay na yung internet nila? Hello? Yes, Julius. Kaya na rin eh. Hello?
Madungog ra sir.
Sobra. Di ra maputol kay nagulan na pod. Kailangan naka-record ng po no? Okay, let's proceed. We have now the kinetic energy. The potential energy is very simple, no? Potential energy is potential energy of big mass M, the potential energy of small mass M. So I have mg, position of my big mass M, plus mg, position of my small mass M. Therefore, I have mg, kabalo mo sa position, no? Not the position but the height. Sakto. Sorry, dili kaya position lang but ang imong kuhaon is ang height. Sakto? Dili ini mo apilon ang x or horizontal position but ang imong kuhaon is ang vertical na position lang. Sakto ba? Because potential energy is mg times h, no? So h, this is hm, and then this is h na gamay niya. And what is hm? Lang, akong y lang nga, kung laki position nga ni, ako lang ko is ang y lang nga, ang y lang nga position. Is that one? And then sa PCAS is na ko F sine beta. Okay? So, yeah, that's my potential energy of for mass M nga dako I have ito minus x sine beta sine beta. Sakto ba? Sine ba to? Sine. Yeah, yeah, sine beta. Ang isa kay minus x sine beta plus, ano na plus mo na eh? Velocity mo na yun. Kaniday ka ni. L cosine of beta. Okay. Minus L cosine. So, plus M nga gamay. M nga gamay niya, sorry. M nga gamay, na ko minus x sine of beta minus L cosine of beta. Diba? Minus L cosine of beta. So, L cosine of beta. That's correct. So, this will be my potential energy. Potential energy is equal to minus mg x sine beta minus mg x sine beta my, minus mgl cosine of theta. Okay, so this is my potential energy. Nakuha niyo yung potential energy. Yung kinetic energy, that's my Lagrangian, which is grabe kataas. Okay, anyways. Taas ka yung Lagrangian, no? T minus V, which is equal to 1/2 mm. M nga dako plus M nga gamay, x dot square plus 1/2 m 1/2 m L square theta dot square m L square theta dot square plus 2x L x dot L theta dot cosine of theta plus theta minus ma-plus na no kay minus b is plus kita na so na plus mgx sine of beta plus mgx sine of beta. So, pwede na ko nimo combine, no? Pwede mo na ko nimo combine. Yeah, pwede na ko nimo combine ang duha. Combine na nako daan para isa ra siya ka term. Okay, plus m plus m gx sine of beta plus mgl cosine of my Lagrangian. Okay? Sayon ra, no? Ang inyong buhaton, ang inyong tanawon yun is only what will be the position of your mass M. Okay? Because ngano ito, kung makuha nimo ang position, ang correct position sa imong mass M, makuha nimo ang correct position sa imong mass M, makuha nimo tanan velocity. So, once makuha nimo velocity, makuha nimo ang kinetic energy, and the potential energy is dependent lang siya sa imong vertical position sa imong mass. Okay? So, and from that, makuha nimo ang Lagrangian, which is a function of x and theta. Okay? Which is a function of x and theta. Now, what will be the equation of motion? So, this will be the Lagrangian. Okay? So, check na tani. Okay, na tani atong Lagrangian. Ay, nakakuha ni sa exam? Siguro, no? Siguro nakakuha ni. Okay? So, next is we have to calculate the equation of motion. Nakoy duha, no? Duha ka equation of motion in terms of x and in terms of theta. Now, in terms of x, I have this partial x minus d dt of partial L of x dot equal to 0. So, when you say, partial L with respect to x, isa lang ka term ang na x, no? Only this one. Okay? The, kanin, no? Only that one. So, if I derive this with respect to x, what do you get? We have mmg sine beta, no? So, na ko kani is just m plus m g sine beta, okay? Minus d dt of partial of L with respect to x. X dot, sorry. Nakoy pila ka terms sa akong x dot. Nakoy duha, no? Kani. And then, kani siya. Okay. Ha? Oh, no. So, x dot. Anyways, so I have that. So we have sakto. Na lang. M plus M x dot. Okay. Tapos ang isa kay kani man no. I-derive na ko si x dot. So mawala ning x dot dara no? Tawa. Mawala si x dot because derivative of x dot is just 1. So nakoy 1 half times 2 nakoy 1 na lang. So I have plus m. Wala ang 1 half kung 2 no? M L theta dot ml theta dot cosine of theta plus beta equal to 0. Okay? Ha? Kung ba ni? M okay, magkano si 2 ml theta dot cosine of theta plus beta. Okay, so that's correct. So yeah, we have this. If I factor out, i-transpose na ko ang isa. Oops. So na ako'y d dt of this. Okay, so ako na lang diretso ano. What will be the derivative with respect to time of this one? So na ako'y m plus m x double dot. Okay? Plus kani na ako'y product rule. I have a product rule here. M L theta double dot cosine of theta plus beta plus this one is now for m, I think minus ni siya kay derivative of cosine is negative sign, so that's why we have minus here. Minus napa ko m, yeah, napa ko m siya kay ml theta dot cosine is mahimo siyang sign of theta plus beta. And then derivative of theta plus beta is just theta dot. So therefore na ko ml theta dot square. Okay? Which is equal to I transpose the kani na ko mg sine of theta. So this is my equation of motion. Okay? This is now my equation of motion for in terms of x. Okay? If I derive the x. Okay? So of course na siya acceleration, linear acceleration. Naapod siya kani this is for x double dot is my linear acceleration, theta double dot is my angular acceleration, and doon na po ko kani siya is v square. Okay, this is v square. Ano na ko v square makuha apisa sa coupling no, nasa sa coupling. And if you do this is a differential equation, x double dot tapos na ko x double dot tapos na ko theta double dot and then na ko theta dot. So this is a differential equation a coupled differential equation. Okay, coupled differential equation. So this is one of my equation of motion. This is one of my equation of motion. The other one is with respect to theta. Equation of motion. The other one is the in terms of theta, I have partial L, partial theta minus d dt of partial L, partial of theta that equal to 0. So if I derive this with respect to theta, ang theta lang ako makita is only this and then only and this one. Okay. So if I derive this with respect to theta na ako'y cosine, derivative of cosine is sine minus sign. Okay, so nakoy minus sign dira. So I have 2, mawala si 2 no? M L theta dot sine of theta plus beta. Okay, so nakoy ML mx dot L cot theta dot. So kani siya is nakoy ML mx dot L theta dot sine na siya no? Sine of theta plus beta. I think there's negative here because derivative of cosine is sine. Okay? Sakto ba ni? Pero siguro ni, no? Kani, cosine. So, minus 2mx dot. Okay, sakto ra, no? Tapos na pa isa kaning cosine theta dira sa picas, which is minus sin theta na lang. So, minus mgl sin of theta. Minus mgl sin of theta. Tapos minus mgl sin of theta. So, muna ako ang partial L with respect to theta. Okay? So, muna ako ang partial L with respect to theta. Kaning term sa lang. Okay? Kaning term. Okay. How about this? Partial L with respect to theta dot. Pila ka book term mga theta dot ani? Daghan ba? Isa. Duha man, no? Kanilang o kalang. Okay? That is ml squared theta dot. Ang isa. Sakto ba? ml squared theta dot. ml squared theta dot. ml squared theta dot. Tapos ang isa. Kanino? Theta dot. So, mawala siya. So, nakoy mx dot l. mx l plus mx dot l theta dot wala theta dot kay mo memory derive mxl ba mx bisod kay no magana m so walang 2 x dot l cosine nga mx dot l cosine mx dot l cosine of theta plus theta okay equal to 0 okay drive na pala ko ninon ako'y i-drive din with respect to time I have ml square theta double dot plus I have product rule kaya nakoy x dot of theta okay nakoy x of theta so I have mx double dot L cosine of theta plus beta tapos ang isa is mx dot L sine theta dot sine of theta plus theta ma-minus na siya no minus na siya oops so minus na siya because derivative of cosine is minus sine oops minus mx dot equal to gitranspose na ko ning kani transpose na ko ni so minus gyapon no because namo ko minus diri daan so mo minus gyapon so murag kanila akong transpose ang dito okay so we have minus mx dot l theta dot sine of theta plus theta minus mgl sine of theta so this will be my equation of motion in terms of theta. Yan, nagyapon sa coupling, no? Nasa theta dot x double dot plus mga velocities which is equal to this one. Okay. Again, this is a differential equation. And then, coupling man siya, na differential equation, doon ako'y duha ka differential equation nga makuha. And then, if you want to solve for x double dot lang, and i-separate nimo ang x double dot o ang theta double dot, pwede gapon, pero lisod na siya, no? Pwede na siya, okay na siya, enough na siya ang answer. Kaya usahay kay, gusto nimo i-separate si theta double dot o si x double dot, pwede gapon na siya, pero usahay kay, di na to sa ma-separate kung we will do coordinate transformation to separate the x double dot and the theta double dot sa imong differential equation. But kani, klaro kay nga coupling siya, no? Na-combine ang theta double dot o ang iyang x double dot. But again, dire ta tama, no? Di na ta atong ma-separate ang x double dot o theta double dot. Isod naman sa i-separate kay na ako terms nga ni, no? I think mawala ni siya, no? Sakto ba? Mawala ni, no? Tama, no? Kani, cancel out mo ni. Sakto? Di pa rin ginawa akong answer. Okay. Cancel out mo ni. Yan, cancel out din siya, no? Mas maayo, no? Parang gamay ito ang kuhan. Oops. Mga to answer. Okay. So, our answer is, this one will be cancelled out. This. Okay. So, gamay na lang ito ang equation of motion which is equal to this one. theta double dot plus mx double dot L cosine of theta plus beta equal to minus mgl sine of theta. Para sa ba sila? Hindi sila. Yes? Isa to. Si Julius? Yes, Julius? Hello?
Wala, sir.
Kira? Kira no? So this will be my equation of motion. Okay? So, mag-cancel out.
Ay, sir.
Yes?
Pwede man siya mag-cancel out.
Dili sila?
Siya, 2mx dot. Kaya di ba, sir, ang negative na daan ang kaning dl d theta. So, gi-transpose siya mag-positive.
Tapos,
So, mag-negative mx, negative 2mx dot l theta dot.
negative 2. Kanta ha? Di, naman ko yung negative daan diri, no?
Sakto naman.
Naman ko yung negative diri, no? Murag akong gitranspose is only this one. Ako ha? Kanina akong gitranspose. Para retain lang yung minus diri. Sakto ba? Tama, no? Kaya i-transpose na ko ni may mong positive. Pero napama ko yung negative diri gihapon. So, negative gihapon siya. Negative gihapon yung nagari. Sakto ba?
Sige, sir.
Okay ra, Julius?
Okay na, sir.
Pero no, so mag-cancel out siya, no? Yeah, mag-cancel out siya. Okay. So this is our second equation of motion. Okay? Okay. So, kaya lang siya kasayon. So, ang crucial nga part, no, kung di ka maglibog ka, no, maglibog kag solve sa Lagrangian, always lang tawon nimo ang position sa imong mga particle. Once makuha nimo ang position, derive it, you will get the velocity. Square it, you will get the magnitude of the v square. To the magnitude dili square lang nimo kay I hat ug j hat man to ang imong answer sa velocity. So the magnitude is just square nimo ang x plus square nimo ang y, you will get the v square. Put it in our kinetic energy, and then you will get the kinetic and the potential also. Then derive, you will get the equation of motion, and that's it. Very simple. So yeah, that's it. And next meeting